आई थिंक अभिषेक बच्चन से मुझे जितनी मज़ेदार कहानियाँ सुनने को मिली हैं, एंड ही इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट फन पीपल टू बी विद ऑन सेट. कई बार ऐसा होता था कि नो 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 बट शी इज़ अ टीवी फेस, इट्स अ टेलीविजन फेस. एंड माई मेजर टर्निंग पॉइंट वाज Kabir Singh. Undoubtedly Shah Rukh Khan. Undoubtedly. Like not even a second thought. Current status is I'm absolutely single. Absolutely. If you have eligible people in mind, please refer.
Hi, this is Jaya and you're watching me on Bollywood Now. आज है हमारे साथ निकिता दत्ता on board. Hi निकिता.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
कैसी हो आप?
मैं बहुत बढ़िया हूँ. आप कैसे हैं?
मैं बढ़िया. न्यू ईयर के प्लान्स क्या क्या हैं?
As such कोई rigid plans नहीं बनाया, लेकिन फिलहाल जो चाह है 2024 की वो ये है कि बहुत काम करना है, कोशिश करनी है कि और ज़्यादा फिट रहूँ, कोशिश करनी है कि अपने जो चहीते लोग हैं उनके साथ ज़्यादा वक्त गुजारूँ. तो ये 3 चीज़ें मैंने सोच के रखी हैं.
ग्रेट. एनिमल आपने देखी?
जी बिल्कुल देखी.
क्या था आपका रिव्यू? क्या था
रिव्यू? मायने रखता है मेरा रिव्यू?
ऑफ कोर्स.
सो I mean, there are things I really liked about Animal, and मैं सिर्फ उन चीज़ों की बात करूँगी because there are also things which I did not like, but I don't want to speak about that. The things I really liked is, of course, Ranbir's performance. I really enjoyed the music, and then I think it's an engaging film.
निकिता, अगर मैं आपकी बात करूँ, आपकी जर्नी के बारे में बात करूँ, तो यू नो फ्रॉम टीवी देन OTT देन फिल्म्स, हर मूवी में भले वो छोटा किरदार हो या बड़ा किरदार हो, हर सीन से और हर अवतार से आपने अपनी एक छाप छोड़ी है, ठीक है? हाउ डू यू लुक योर जर्नी?
माई जर्नी, सो द थिंग इज़, मेरी जो जर्नी है, ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने बैठ कर प्लान किया था कि मैं ऐसे इस डायरेक्शन में जाऊंगी या फिर पहले ये करूंगी उसके बाद ये करूंगी. आई हैव ऑलवेज लिटरली डन वॉट एवर्स कम माई वे. तो अगर आपके सामने 5 ऑप्शन है, आप उसमें से हमेशा बेस्ट ऑप्शन चूज़ करोगे. आप ये नहीं प्लान करोगे कि ये ऑप्शंस मेरे सामने आएंगे. सो दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई हैव डन. एंड व्हेन आई लुक बैक एट माय एंटायर जर्नी, आई थिंक आई एम वेरी वेरी ग्लैड एंड ग्रेटफुल जिस तरह से चीज़ें प्लान आउट हुई हैं. I mean, I always keep saying that, you know, you have to trust the universe and the universe will always have a plan for you. I think that's also worked in my way. मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था कि हाँ मैं टेलीविजन से शुरुआत करूँगी, कभी नहीं सोचा था कि हाँ इसके बाद मुझे फिल्में करनी है. It's just happened very organically and on its own, and I think I've just kind of gone with the flow. So when I look back at my journey, I'm very happy the way it has happened. I'm very satisfied the way it's worked out for me.
और अगर टर्निंग पॉइंट की बात करें
जी,
what would be the turning point of your?
I think in terms of my career, when I look back, as my creativity, my turning point was my second show that I did, Ek Duje Ke Vaaste. That kind of, you know, made me actually believe that yes, I can act in front of the camera. Because मुझे बहुत कुछ करने को मिला उस रोल के ज़रिए, बहुत प्यार मिला उस रोल को. That was my first turning point, and my major turning point was Kabir Singh. I think the recognition in films that I was looking for, the kind of mass audience I was looking for, I got it through Kabir Singh. So far, I think these have been big turning points for my career.
कहीं पढ़ा भी था ये चीज़ और सुना भी था इंटरव्यूज़ में कि आपने कहा था कि कैमरा के सामने आई वाज नॉट कंफर्टेबल कभी कभी, यू नो, मेरे को मुझे पता नहीं था बिकॉज आई वाज नेवर इनटू एक्टिंग.
यस.
तो हाउ डिड दैट हैपन?
सो द थिंग इज, यू नो, कई लोगों का होता है राइट कि बचपन से एक्टर बनना है, कैमरा के सामने जाना है. आई नेवर हैड दैट. आई वॉज नेवर, बिकॉज दूर दूर से मेरे परिवार में कोई एक्टिंग में है भी नहीं, इस इंडस्ट्री में भी नहीं है. इंडस्ट्री छोड़ो, कोई क्रिएटिव फील्ड में नहीं है. आई कम फ्रॉम अ फैमिली ऑफ मिलिट्री पीपल, लाइक एवरीबडी इन माई फैमिली इज इन द आर्म फोर्सेज. तो फॉर मी दिस वर्ल्ड वॉज कम्प्लीटली एलियन. इट वॉज लाइक एवरीथिंग अबाउट दिस वर्ल्ड वॉज स्ट्रेंज एंड अननोन टू मी. मैंने जब मिस इंडिया में पार्ट लिया था, उस वक्त मैंने कैमरा पहली बार फेस किया था, बिकॉज कई बार आपको फेस करना पड़ता है. सो आई थिंक दैट वाज माई इंट्रोडक्शन, एंड इवन देन फॉर मी टू वार्म अप इन फ्रंट ऑफ द कैमरा वॉज अ टास्क. लाइक आई रिमेंबर, आसान नहीं था, बिल्कुल भी आसान नहीं था. आई वॉज जस्ट अ गर्ल इन कॉलेज हु डिडंट इवन नो हाउ टू डू मेकअप और हाउ टू ड्रेस अप एंड व्हाट इज़ फैशन. आई हैड नो क्लू अबाउट ऑल दीज थिंग्स. एंड उसके बाद जब मैंने एंकरिंग शुरू की, आप जानते होंगे ये कि कैमरा के सामने एंकरिंग करना और कैमरा के सामने एक्टिंग करना दो बहुत अलग अलग चीज़ें हैं. सो फॉर मी, आई गॉट वेरी comfortable hosting in front of the camera. So when I made that switch from anchoring to getting into like acting, I think that was another task for me. Because आप कैमरा की तरफ देखकर बात करते हैं, हमें अलाउड भी नहीं है कैमरा की तरफ देखना. इट्स जस्ट लाइक कैमरा इज अनदर co-actor of yours. You don't really like look at it or acknowledge it, right? But you know the presence of it. So I think just to get comfortable with that, and I really credit television for this because बहुत आसान हो गया मेरे लिए, क्योंकि टीवी में आप रोज़ काम कर रहे होते हैं, ब्रेक नहीं होता है, आप कम से कम 12 से 14 घंटे कैमरा के सामने हैं. So I've realized this is an art form. More than learning, experience really teaches you more than going to a school or anything like that. And that's what's happened in my case. Television really built that base for me, really made me comfortable. मेरे लिए बहुत आसान कर दी चीज़ें, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसे लगता था कि ये आपका टेस्ट मैच है, आप रोज़ खेल रहे हो, कभी कभी आप 6 मारते हो, कभी कभी आप नहीं मारते. So I think those 3 years of my television life is, I always take it as my schooling. So that's what made me comfortable, and I give that a lot of credit to whatever I can do right now.
But coming from no film background, वो कितना difficult था अपना place बनाना, I think it would be challenging for you.
It's definitely challenging. I think more than anything, आपको एक छोटा सा cultural shock ज़रूर रखता है. And this is coming from a person like I have primarily spent most of my growing up years in Bombay. तो ऐसा भी नहीं है कि मैं बाहर से आई हूँ एंड मुझे ये शहर देखकर कुछ है. इट्स नॉट दैट. इट्स जस्ट दैट दिस इंडस्ट्री वर्क्स इन अ डिफरेंट वे. पीपल ओवर हियर आर वेरी डिफरेंट. तो आई थिंक वो सब आपको तौर तरीके समझने में थोड़ा सा वक्त ज़रूर लगता है. दैट इज़ वन थिंग. एंड समवेयर यू नीड अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट सिस्टम. लाइक इन माई केस, I am very blessed that I had my family as a strong support system, क्योंकि हमारी ज़िंदगी ऐसी होती है, it's very uncertain. You have work, sometimes you don't have work. कई बार आप बहुत काम कर रहे हैं, कई बार आपके पास बिल्कुल फुर्सत नहीं है, कई बार बहुत खाली टाइम है. So in this kind of a very disproportionate work schedule, you really need somebody who can keep you sane. So that has really worked for me. But in terms of understanding कि ये इंडस्ट्री कैसे काम करती है and all, मुझे भी वक्त लगा है to kind of get used to अपनी जगह बनाने में. And I've realized there is no shortcut over here. Of course there are if you go through the unethical ways, but otherwise there is no shortcut in terms of कि मैं ये कर लेती हूँ इससे जल्दी होगा. नहीं. A lot has to do with your destiny, which project is meant for you, which project will take off, which will be suddenly like appreciated. Like किसी ने नहीं सोचा था कि 12th Fail is going to be such a huge success, but today everybody is talking about it. It's a really good film. So you just never know what clicks with the audience. And what gets picked up. Like I never imagined Kabir Singh would become such a big thing. जब मैं उसके लिए शूट करी थी, मैंने दूर दूर तक नहीं सोचा था कि this is going to be the the most successful film of that year. So this is something that requires a lot of patience अपनी जगह बनाने के लिए, because things will come when they have to, and you basically, I've realized, should not lose your patience because you just never know when it works out. You have to just keep going. तो आपको थोड़ा hard work, luck सब मिला के भगवान के ऊपर भरोसा करके चलना होता है.
आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क कि कभी ये मौका है आपके पास कि आई शुड डू दिस काइंड ऑफ वर्क्स एंड आई शुड डू दिस काइंड्स ऑफ वर्क एंड आई शुड नॉट डू दिस काइंड्स ऑफ वर्क?
100%. ये तो
हाउ डू यू पिक अप?
तो मतलब ये तो मेरे को स्टार्टिंग से आई वाज वेरी क्लियर कि मेरे को क्या चीज़ें नहीं करनी है और क्या चीज़ें करनी है. एंड द थिंग इज़, जब आप शुरुआत कर रहे होते हैं ना, आपके पास बहुत तरीके के काम आते हैं, एंड उस वक्त नो बोलना ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है बिकॉज यू आर स्टार्टिंग ऑफ एंड यू जस्ट लाइक नहीं ये भी करना चाहिए, ये भी करना चाहिए. सो टू बी अ लिटिल पिकी एट दैट टाइम कैन बी अ लिटिल डिफिकल्ट, बट आई थिंक आई हैव बीन वेरी क्लियर. लाइक I don't think I've spoken about this, but 2014 में जब I was kind of offered television, तब मैं होस्टिंग कर रही थी. आई जस्ट कम बैक फ्रॉम द वर्ल्ड कप, क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप करके आई थी मैं, एंड उस वक्त मुझे मेरा पहला टीवी शो ऑफर हुआ था जो फाइनली 2015 में आया था. उस वक्त एट द सेम टाइम आई वॉज ऑफर्ड अ फिल्म which was of a very big production house, but I can't name it and stuff, but it was one of those films which you would not want to watch with your children. It'll be an adult film. It was it's a sequel, मतलब उसकी हैं parts हैं, मतलब it's one of those films. So I mean, for somebody choosing between a film and a television show, it can be, but I was so clear. I've said this is not the zone I want to get into. I was very clear from day one, and that's when I chose television. And even when I was doing TV, I remember I had got on contract with the channel, and the channel came to me with a show, and I said this is a show I can't relate to and I do not want to do it. And then I went to another channel and I did another show, and that was my first show, Dream Girl. So इस टाइप के डिसीजंस मैंने जब कुछ भी नहीं था तभी लिए हैं कि ये करना है और ये नहीं करना है. तो I think from day one I keep in mind that yes, I want to do challenging roles, but at the same time challenging roles ऐसे नहीं कि आप अपने आप को एक अलग ही कैटेगरी में डाल दो. तो I think उस चीज़ को लेके मैं बहुत पहले से क्लियर थी कि इम्पैक्टफुल रोल होना चाहिए, चाहे कम हो ज़्यादा हो, उससे फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता, बट द सेटअप नीड्स टू बी समथिंग आई कैन रिलेट टू.
बट आपने सीक्वल्स की बात की, तो क्या आप कोई पर्टिकुलर सीन से बच रही हैं या
नहीं, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है सीन से बच रही हूँ, नो नॉट एट ऑल. आई एम नॉट समबडी हु इज गोइंग टू एडवोकेट ऑल दैट, बट इट्स जस्ट आई फील लाइक विल आई वॉच दैट काइंड ऑफ सिनेमा. आई थिंक दिस इज द थॉट दैट आई हैव इन माई हेड, बिकॉज ऑल्सो दीज काइंड ऑफ चॉइसेस आर वेरी पर्सनल. शायद आप कोई अलग तरीके का सिनेमा देखना पसंद करती हो, मैं कोई अलग तरीके का पसंद नहीं भी करती हूँ. इज दैट द वर्ल्ड आई कैन रिलेट टू? सो आई थिंक दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मी, क्योंकि फिर आप जस्टिस नहीं कर सकते उसको. अगर आप फोर्सफुली करेंगे तो यू जस्ट कांट डू जस्टिस टू दैट कैरेक्टर.
कभी यू हैव कम फ्रॉम टेलीविजन, तो कभी कभार ऐसा हुआ है कि जब पीपल ने आपको रियलाइज करवाया हो यार ये तो टीवी की है, ये मोस्टली होता है.
तो बहुत बार हुआ है. हाँ. बहुत बार हुआ है. इनफैक्ट व्हेन आई वाज मेकिंग दैट स्विच, तब तो कई बार ऐसा होता था कि नो बट शी इज अ टीवी फेस, इट्स अ टेलीविजन फेस. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली जब मैंने स्टार्ट ऑफ किया था तब ये सुनने को मिलता था कि अरे बट दैट्स अ मॉडल, शी होस्ट एंड शी एंकर्स, वो उसको एक्टिंग नहीं आएगी. तो ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन तो बहुत होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा. सो आई मीन आई कांट से कि यही तरीका है इससे ब्रेकआउट करने का, दिस इज़ अ राइट वे टू डू इट. देयर इज़ नो राइट और रॉन्ग वे. आई मीन यू जस्ट हैव टू कीप गोइंग, यू हैव टू डील विद इट एंड कीप गोइंग.
सो जैसे कि आपने डिस्क्रिमिनेशन की बात की, तो उसी तरीके से मैं पूछना चाहूँगी कि आज का जो टाइम है वो चेंज हो चुका है. एवरी इन्फ्लुएंसर इज एन एक्टर, an actor is now influencer, vice versa हो गया. How do you see that?
So the good part is since the time phones have become a part of our body and we do everything on our phone, what has happened is एक जो medium की disparity थी from social media to like OTT, I won't say social media, OTT to television to films, सब ना एक blend हो गए थोड़े. वो थोड़ा डिफरेंस चला गया है सब में, which is I think great, because even for us actors or everybody who works behind the camera, people have, they can easily switch mediums. Like right now I know I have 3 things coming on OTT and 2 things coming out in the theaters, and that's not going to stop me from doing either, right? तो वो एक बहुत पॉजिटिव चीज़ है. जहाँ पे इन्फ्लुएंसर्स की बात है, there are some who I mean can pull off, who are doing extremely well, who can also be an influencer and as well as act on screen. And I think some who are nice enough just for your 90-second reel. But I like the fact कि उनके लिए भी it's become like an easy way to kind of make this switch. Because पहले आसान बिल्कुल नहीं था. You do not know how to do it. Today, if you are somebody who's done well, you know you have a chance this side as well. And even for us, I think हम लोग primarily actors हैं. Like मुझे ये बार बार बोलना पड़ता है कि मैं influencer नहीं हूँ, मैं पहले actor हूँ. उसके बाद being an influencer comes because I'm an actor. I'm not an influencer and then I've started acting. No, that's a very clean thing that I always try to do. So even my content that I put out on Instagram is never very ki, hey, I'm here, I'm an influencer, look it, check it out. I don't do all that. So, but I like the fact that these guys are given a fair chance over here.
I would like to ask your experience सारे co-stars के साथ, अगर मैं आपकी जर्नी की बात करूँ तो you have worked with all the top actors, अभिषेक बच्चन, शाहिद कपूर. So वो कैसे देखती हैं आप? And I would like to know the experience.
Honestly, experience has been great because in जिन भी लोगों के साथ मैंने काम किया है, from Abhishek to Shahid to even Imran for that matter, I feel like there is a lot that I have learned and taken back. And I'm somebody, I think I grab a lot from my co-actor in terms of उनका तरीका काम करने का. मतलब मुझे हमेशा ऐसे लगता है कि जो भी लोग, चाहे वो एक्टर्स ही क्यों ना हो, बिहाइंड द कैमरा के लोग भी हों, सबसे ज़्यादा आपको सीखने को उनको लोगों से ही मिलता है. एंड यू शुड ऑलवेज बी अवेयर ऑफ व्हाट दे आर डूइंग, व्हाट दे आर सेइंग, एनी सजेशंस दे हैव टू गिव. सो दैट इज़ ऑलवेज बिन समथिंग दैट आई रियली लुक फॉरवर्ड टू. इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंडिविजुअली इफ़ आई स्पीक, आई थिंक अभिषेक बच्चन से मुझे जितनी मज़ेदार कहानियाँ सुनने को मिली हैं, एंड ही इज़ वन ऑफ द मोस्ट फन पीपल टू बी विद ऑन सेट. ही इज़ गॉट अ ग्रेट सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर, ही इज़ गॉट अ ग्रेट विट, and he's extremely humble, extremely humble. So I think for that's something very wonderful to see. It's really wonderful. Like उन्हें कोई spot भी आके ऐसे मिठाई खिलाएगा तो वो शौक से पूरी की पूरी चीज़ खाएंगे. इनफैक्ट ही इज़ forcefully made me also eat cake and like sweet when I was not supposed to eat. So there's something very beautiful about him as a person. And the same thing goes with like Shahid and Imran. I think it's very beautiful to watch their process. Specifically Shahid, I remember during Kabir Singh, unka apna alag hi process hai, which at that time I could not understand. But when you watch him on screen, it's completely something else. And I think he's one of the finest actors, like what he's capable of doing. So. Again, I think it's something in my favor कि मुझे इन लोगों के साथ काम करने को मिला है, because this just adds on. ये पतली पतली layers हैं जो आपके career में add on होती रहती हैं, आप realize भी नहीं करते, and subtly it kind of helps you grow, which you probably think of later.
But according to you, आपकी chemistry सबसे अच्छा किसके साथ दिखती है?
सबसे, I don't know यार, that's for the audience to decide. But I think so far, recently I did a show called Khakee. And I had current actor was opposite me, so I think बहुत ज़्यादा appreciate हुई है हमारी chemistry. So I think I could say that so far with whatever work I've done in the past, I think we.
And if you got a chance to pick any actor जिसके साथ आपको काम करना है, तो
undoubtedly Shah Rukh Khan, undoubtedly, like not even a second thought. The day I get to work with him, I will change my answer and start taking somebody else's name. But till that day comes, my answer forever is, who do you want to work with? I want to work with Shah Rukh Khan.
That's great. मैं disappointment की बात करूँगी. कभी कभार होता है कि आपने first movie किया but वो नहीं चली होती, तो उसके बाद के लिए आप कैसे prep करती हैं अपने आप को? वो
I think उस चीज़ को लेके I've become a little, I've just eventually with time I've become very stone-hearted. Because क्या होता है कि when you're working on to something ना, आप ये thought के साथ नहीं काम कर सकते कि this is going to work, ये audience को पसंद आएगा, ऐसे करते हैं, ये audience को नहीं पसंद आएगा, ये नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. You are putting your heart and soul, blood and sweat, everything into whatever you're doing. It picks up, it doesn't pick up. Like I'll give you an example. Last year I had 2 releases that came. Not last year, अभी 2022, अभी हम 4 में हैं, sorry. 2022 I had 2 releases that came. There was a film called Rocket Gang. जो मैंने की थी. It was a primarily dance-based film. I remember signing that in 2019 and बीच में COVID आ गया. I had 4 injuries in the middle of that film. I couldn't move around because of that, because it was a very primarily hardcore dance-based film. I have spent hours and hours of the day rehearsing, trying to fit in with dancers. We had so many songs. हमारे shoot आसान नहीं थे because we were constantly every day. We did not have breaks. We were dancing. It was a very very hectic schedule. And 3 साल बाद जाके the film came out. हमने shoot भी almost उसका 1.5 साल किया है. That film came out and it unfortunately didn't do well at all. So my 3 years of hard work, patience, whatever I had put in, it didn't do well. 2 weeks later was when Khakee released, and Khakee was something that was loved by everybody. In terms of prep and in terms of like whatever I had to do for Khakee, अगर मैं दोनों को एक wing scale पे रखूँ, there was no comparison. Because like Khakee, everything was very relaxed. I just had to act. I didn't have to have an extra skill. I didn't have to physically be doing so much. It was just, there was a lot of disparity with the amount of effort I have put in. But Khakee was so loved by people, and Rocket Gang didn't last in the theaters even a week. So I think somewhere I've started to believe that the universe is balancing it out for you. तुम हो सकता है एफर्ट यहाँ डालो, लेकिन आपको उसका रिजल्ट हो सकता है कहीं और से मिले. सो ना मैंने वो चीज़ दिल पे ली, ना मैंने ये चीज़ दिल पे ली कि हरे दिस इज डन सो वेल, ओ माय गॉड आई एम फीलिंग, नो दैट्स डन वेल, ग्रेट, दैट डिडंट डू वेल, ग्रेट, नो प्रॉब्लम. सो आई थिंक समवेयर आई हैव सडनली बिकम दिस वे over time. I think even specifically after COVID also, we've all like changed in our personalities and our thinking. So that's happened to me also, when I'm like not to take either or seriously. Whatever works, great. Whatever doesn't work, it's okay.
When it comes to fashion and fitness, Nikita Dutta tops the list. ठीक है?
Are you sure with fashion?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Like अभी देख लो.
अभी तो ठीक है, but yeah. No, because I very openly say that fashion is not my forte, and if somebody asks me what's your fashion sense, I'm like comfort. What are trends and all, I have to actually check with people. I have to check like across ki, is this trending? Is this in fashion? Please update me. So I'm very open and very honest about the fact that
वो भी trend हो गया ना. You are अपने आप में रहना भी.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think from day one I've always been an advocate of like do what suits you instead of just blindly following trends and stuff. So yeah, like for me that's literally one statement of fashion, like do what suits you.
आप जैसे कह रही हैं कि फैशन आर यू श्योर, तो आई वुड लाइक टू से कि जब मैं आपके बारे में चेक कर रही थी इंटरव्यू से पहले, थोड़ा सर्च कर ले भैया
क्या क्या मिला आपको सर्च में?
सबसे पहले तो मुझे आपका सबसे पहले फैशन, यस फैशन,
oh my god, I don't know how you are seeing it, but I'm glad if that's working. Like if this is working, that do whatever suits you and wear comfortable clothes, and if that fashion is working, I'm really glad, really.
But then fitness, I would like to know about the fitness. क्या क्या करती हैं आप, you know?
ये तो बहुत लंबा सवाल है, इसमें तो डिटेल में बात करनी पड़ेगी. But yeah, there's a lot I do for fitness, a lot. I think बहुत लोगों ने मुझे ये भी बोला है कि मेरा एक थोड़ा obsessive issue है fitness को लेकर, which is true. I wouldn't deny it. There are multiple things I keep doing, and I think fitness एक ऐसी चीज़ है which keeps me going when I have nothing else happening for me. क्योंकि एज आई सेड कि कई बार होता है कि आपके पास बहुत फ्री टाइम होता है, कई बार आप बहुत बिजी होते हैं. उन दोनों सिनेरियोज में व्हाट कीप्स मी मोटिवेटेड, व्हाट कीप्स मी काम, व्हाट कीप्स मी व्हाट डजंट डिसअपॉइंट मी इज बेसिकली गोइंग फॉर अ रन, बेसिकली डूइंग योगा इन द मॉर्निंग, गोइंग टू द जिम. ये होता है कि जब ज़्यादा टाइम होता है तो मैं इन चीज़ों पर ज़्यादा वक्त बिताती हूँ, जब टाइम की कमी होती है तो उनका भी थोड़ा टाइम कम हो जाता है. बट इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ माई, इट्स लिटरली माई डेली लाइफ, इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ माई सिस्टम. इट्स लाइक आप सुबह उठ के, अगर कई लोगों को होता है ना चाय पियेंगे तो चाय पिए बिना फंक्शन नहीं कर पाएंगे, कई लोगों का होता है कॉफ़ी चाहिए सुबह सुबह. सो सिमिलरली फॉर दैट, इन अ डे टू फंक्शन इन अ वेरी सेन वे, I need to do something which is a fitness activity. If I don't do that, you know I'm grumpy, you know I'm not in a good mood क्योंकि आज पूरा दिन कुछ होगा नहीं या कुछ किया नहीं है. So it's as simple as that. Like a lot of times people have said that, अरे but you're very patient or something. I'm like, किसी दिन मेरे को बिना workout के मिलो, you'll come to know where my patience goes. So I think that just keeps me, it's like, वो होता है ना, you need your medicine in the morning. So for me, doing some kind of activity in the morning is like my food, whatever you can call it. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good habit.
Yeah, it's a good habit, but it's just become one of those things. It's just become. And I like the fact that I have seen this, a lot of people when they're around me, they automatically start doing that. Like I know when my mom and dad, they come to live with me, they also feel like doing things because they're looking at me doing it. So I like that I can have this influence over people. Like I really enjoy that. I've seen that having on my co-actors. If I'm waking up at like early in the morning at 4-5 before a shoot and going and working out, I start seeing that others also start doing that. So I'm like, great. If you can do this to other people, you can have this effect. Nothing like it.
तो कोई को एक्टर्स के साथ आपका कुछ ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा है जहाँ उन्होंने बोला हो कि यार मुझे भी अब करना पड़ेगा ये?
So I think my most recent one, because I just recently did Khakee, was with Karan. So Karan is a very fit person himself. He also lifts a lot and stuff. But I used to basically go work out at 4-5 in the morning, and Karan used to be like, "Nahi, time nahi hai aaj," and he's very blessed with the way he is. But looking at me, he also said कि नहीं यार मैं भी करके आता हूँ. I'm getting motivated looking at you. So this is the most recent one. That's why I can say. I remember Abhishek Bachchan used to laugh a lot at me because I used to be like, I want to run here, I want to go here and like work out and come. मुझे आज भी याद है दिल्ली में हम शूट कर रहे थे and we had like a 4-hour gap. So I quickly went back to the hotel. I went to the gym, showered, came back on set. So he was just like this girl is just mad. Like put her aside. So yeah, so I like this kind of effect.
But ये पूरे बॉम्बे में आप दौड़ते कहाँ हो?
दौड़ते कहाँ हो? पूरी रोड आपका रनिंग ट्रैक है, कहीं पर भी दौड़ो, कहीं पर भी. So in fact there are times जब मैं so I generally do like a 5 kilometer run and 5 kilometer बहुत मुश्किल नहीं है. मतलब आपके लिए रूट फिगर आउट करना बहुत आसान है. बट व्हेन आई एम डूइंग माई लॉन्ग रन्स, जब मैं 10 या 15 भागती हूँ, तब व्हाट आई डू इज़ जिधर रोड जा रही होती है आई जस्ट कीप गोइंग देयर. एंड आप बिलीव नहीं करेंगे, जो दिसंबर और जनवरी का महीना होता है, अगर आप सुबह के टाइम में उसमें बाहर निकलेंगे, वेदर बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम यू विल बी अमेज्ड टू सी द नंबर ऑफ पीपल हु आर आउट देयर ऑन द रोड्स रनिंग. You will actually feel like कि आप actually miss out कर रहे हैं घर पे बैठ के if you don't go for a run. It's an amazing vibe because there are people who are running, especially if you go to a Marine Drive or if you go to a Carter Road. कई बार होता है आप लोगों से कैसे क्रॉस करें ना, people smile at you, they give you a thumbs up. नहीं जानते आप उनको, you don't know. And this I'm not saying now because maybe some people know me. This is even before that I've noticed. And people are running in groups. There are people who are having like water stations on the way. तो एक बहुत ही अलग किस्म की एनर्जी होती है एंड आप एक बार जाएंगे ना आपको लगेगा ओ माय गॉड दिस इज द प्लेस टू बी. मुझे सैटरडे को जल्दी सोना है. आई डोंट वांट टू पार्टी ऑन अ सैटरडे नाइट एंड आई वांट टू बी हियर ऑन अ संडे मॉर्निंग. दिस इज एक्चुअली व्हाट बॉम्बे इज ऑन मुंबई इज ऑन इन December and January in the mornings. So that kind of energy it's very infectious. Like you really want to be a part of it. You really want to be there. You don't want to miss out. Coming back to what you asked me, भागते कहाँ हैं? Roads are yours. मतलब I know it's not something I can say very proudly कि हमारी बॉम्बे की roads बहुत great है. लेकिन I think it's the passion that I'm more in love with than looking at roads are bad or whatever is bad.
We all will join you from tomorrow.
Please do, please do. Sunday I'm actually saying Marine Drive, everybody.
Done. कुछ क्वेश्चंस है मेरे जो सोशल मीडियाज पर मैं देख रही थी. आई वुड लाइक टू नो कि आप कैसे रिएक्ट करती हैं इन सवालों पे. हाउ डू यू हैंडल ऑल द ट्रोलिंग्स? यू नो मैं देख रही थी आपके पोस्ट में कई सारे ऐसे थे जो ट्रोल भी करते हैं आप.
जी जी जी.
वो कैसे आप?
यार you know what happened back in 2016. मेरा शो था एक दूजे के वास्ते और वो बहुत अब्रप्टली ख़त्म हो गया था. तब मैंने उस टाइम पर एक पोस्ट डाला था which was basically like a goodbye post because that show was very close to my heart. And the reason that show had shut down was because I was admitted in the hospital. I was down with dengue, with leptospirosis together at the same time. So I was like for a very long time admitted in the hospital. So I came out, I finished the shoot and all, and I put up that post. And that was the first time I got a lot of hatred. A lot of hatred. Like comment section was just full of people saying I should have died, I should have just never come back. There was a lot of hatred. And I will accept very honestly that did get to me. That really did have an effect on me. But I think that's the way I am. एक बार जब I got over it, I have gotten into a zone since that day. उस बात को तो अभी मतलब almost 8 साल हो जाएंगे इस साल. I've gotten to that zone where any kind of over appreciation or trolling both don't have an effect on me. I don't take either or seriously because I feel like sometimes the same people who were probably praising you are going to start trolling you. The people who are trolling you will start praising you. Then of course there are some very loyal people. I completely appreciate and love that. But at the same time ये दोनों चीज़ें हैं ना जो अगर आप इनसे disconnected रहोगे तो it's great for you because कई बार ऐसा हुआ है people are like you don't reply to your comments and I'm like because it's for my mental health. Because if somebody is saying something bad, no. If you're saying something good in good heart and all, thank you so much. Like I really appreciate it, but like it's the decision that I have taken to stay just a little detached from this, and I think that's been great so far. Like and again, I think trolling एक ऐसी चीज़ है which is saying a lot about the person trolling, right? You're hiding behind an unknown photo without an image, putting somebody else's image with a fake name. You're saying things like that, so that says a lot about you. Yeah.
The third question I would like to ask. How do you handle link up rumors?
Link up rumors?
Yes.
फिलहाल तो एक ही हुआ है and उसको तो मैंने बहुत हंस के निकाल दिया because I mean I know what the truth was to it. So yeah, so I just laughed it off. अभी तक तो there's
And
only
what's
been
the
one.
current status?
Current status is I'm absolutely single. Absolutely. If you have eligible people in mind, please refer.
I just spoke about mental health, you know.
Yeah.
तो मैं उसके बारे में जानना चाहूँगी. कभी-कभार क्या होता है कि it's your first auditions, it's your first job, it's your first anything, ठीक है? So उससे डील करना भी कभी-कभार बहुत मुश्किल होता है.
जी.
तो how do you deal it or how do you handle it?
You're talking about rejection, right?
Yeah, all rejection.
Rejection, see, I'll tell you, the kind of rejection that you face in our industry is very different from another kind of rejection that probably you will face in a regular job. क्योंकि यहाँ पर बहुत चीज़ें आपके identity, self, health, emotional health, इन सब चीज़ों के ऊपर dependent होती है. So एक चीज़ है कि बार बार आप रिजेक्ट होके you just have to be very strong, rock solid, which is also something. I mean, my life's first audition was, I remember, for a Pizza Hut ad. I had just come out of Miss India. 2 days later, I went and I auditioned for this ad. And I remember auditioning, and in my head, I went with all hopes, and I was like, "ये ad तो मुझे मिल जाएगी, and this will work out and all." And obviously, I didn't get that ad, and I was extremely upset about it. And then this whole thing of auditioning started, where you're going on a daily basis and you're auditioning, and then you became so used to it. So now also, like till date, there have been times until last year when there is a film and you need to audition for that. I think now it's become very, if it happens, it's great. Doesn't happen, no problem. So this is something builds with time. But again, as I keep saying, you need to have patience and you need to have a strong support system, which you need to figure. Otherwise, the rejections will get to you. The film that I didn't have to audition for was Kabir Singh.
Oh.
I didn't have to audition for that. But there is a backstory to it, which I think I've mentioned before, but I'll say it again. I was working on this film called Gold, which released in 2018. So that was an Excel film, and the casting director, Nandini, she told me that there is another film that they are making. And it'll be nice because, you know, I'll get to work with Zoya Akhtar. So would you want to do it? And I readily agreed because I'm a huge fan of Zoya Akhtar's films. So she was basically at that time directing Lust Stories. Lust Stories एक short film थी जो Netflix पे आई थी. It was a combination of 4 films. So I said, no problem, even if the role is like barely anything, I want to work with Zoya ma'am, I will do it. So I did that. And Last Stories came out in 2018. I wasn't expecting anything out of it because I had literally done it for my personal reasons. I didn't think this is going to change my career or anything. Nothing of that thought. Now when Kabir Singh was announced and Kiara came on board, that time Sandeep sir was watching Last Stories because Kiara is in the 4th film of Last Stories. And he came across the second one in which I was there. And I think that's where he spotted me, and somebody from their team got in touch and they said, can you come and meet Sandeep sir? This is what we are doing. We are making a remake of Arjun Reddy. This will be your part. You can watch the film from this point to this point. It's exactly going to be this way. I said, okay. And I went to meet him and he said, you saw the film? I said, yeah. He said, you like it? I said, he's like, you're okay doing this film? I said, great. He said, okay. And that was it. That was it. I literally looked at him thinking that now he'll say, okay, we'll do a test or something. Nothing of that sort. Next thing I know, 1 week later, I'm shooting for it. And when I was shooting also in my head, I was like, this is just one of those films, I'm doing it. Because I had not worked for like, I think a month and a half, I had not like shot. So I was like, koi baat nahi, karke bhool jao. This is one of those. And that just changed my career. So as I said it before also, I feel the universe might not reward you instantly, but it rewards you in other ways. You also don't realize from when and where. So the idea is to just keep doing your thing. कहीं ना कहीं से आपका भला होगा if you do it with a clean and clear heart. In fact, I remember before Kabir Singh, we started shoot 2 days before I messaged him and I said, sir, do we need to do some reading? Is there any prep I need to do? And he said, no, come on set, it's okay. And I said, okay, great. So he's somebody who personally, he has a very different style of working, and I think that's what makes his film such a big success.
So he keep checking, you know, all the videos, all the movies में कौन है, मतलब अपने आँख को एकदम अच्छे से रखते हैं कि आप कहीं से नहीं मिल
but
जाए.
yeah, it's. I mean, you can't take the art and the creativity away from the man. Like you've got to respect it. Yeah.
So जैसे कि Animal में भी Tripti was the second lead and Kabir Singh में भी you were the second lead. So in that case, similarities भी.
So I think that's the only similarity which I can think of. Otherwise, stories are different. Our characters are different. There's no comparison in that way. And I think Tripti's look gorgeous in the film. But I like the fact that Maid be the second lead or the main lead, you actually do fall in love with the female leads of his films, which I think that was also the reason why Kabir Singh was the turning point in my career.
I would like to know your upcoming projects. किन projects में आप काम करने वाली हैं? कहाँ दिखने वाली हैं?
There's only 2 things I can talk about. There is a film that I'm doing called Dange, which should hopefully come out very soon. That's being directed by Bijoy Nambiar and it's got Harshvardhan Rane and Ihan Bhatt. So वो आपको बहुत जल्द ही उसके बारे में I'll be able to speak in detail about it. And there's a Marathi film that I'm doing, which is Gharat Ganpati. वो भी इस साल आपको देखने को मिलेगी, which is going to be out in the theatres. That is very exciting for me because I think that's a genre which is very close to my heart. It's something I personally like watching, and of course it's the first time I'm doing something regional. इससे पहले I've always done Hindi cinema. I've never done something which is regional. So yeah.
That's great. I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining with us.
Thank you so much.
You know, it is always lovely to talk to you.
Yes, of course. बहुत समय बाद, but great talking to you. Hi, I'm Nikita Dutta and you're watching me on Bollywood Now.